I think when we talk about productivity, the first thing we talk about how to use your time effectively. Now, how many of you are in the business full time? Oh, almost. Oh, almost 90%. Okay, can you tell me how you spend your daytime? Sleep, plan, thinking, or organize house meeting? How many of you organize daytime meeting? Now, can you tell me, do you have daytime meeting in your center? How many of you have daytime meeting in center? How many of you attend daytime meeting? Please put up your hand. Not too many. So, how you spend your time in the afternoon or morning? Well, you see, in fact, housewife is very productive. Why not you organize afternoon class? In fact, it's very important to have afternoon class because a lot of housewives may not be able to come to attend your meeting in the evening. You lose a lot of good people that can be productive. But it is a challenge to organize meeting in the afternoon because usually you have less people coming for the meeting in the afternoon. And that is the reason why you need more leaders to work together to organize afternoon class. And I strongly recommend you, if you want to be productive, you know, you better work with more leaders, sit together, organize afternoon class. Maybe you only have one or two, but then you have so many DVs work together, you have a good center meetings in the afternoon. In fact, when we talk about how to use your time effectively, we talk about time management. I know many of you have read many books about time management. Maybe your diamond have conducted many time management workshop for you to attend. Maybe some of you have already attended, you know, the professional time management course conducted by the what do you call those experts. Just like a lot of my leaders in Taiwan, they have attended many time management training course, but still they do not know how to make use of their time effectively. I got one downline. You know, one afternoon, he decided he has make a very important decision that he got something important to do in the evening. During the daytime, he was very busy, you know, and he almost forgot about his decision in the afternoon. Then before he go to sleep, suddenly he remembered that, hey, he has what you call decided to do something important this evening. But then he couldn't remember what kind of decision he has made in the morning. So he tried very hard to remember that decision. And he think for hours. The more he think, the more he cannot remember. And he tried hard for almost 5-6 hours until 3 o'clock in the morning. Suddenly he remember. The decision was he want to sleep early that night. You know the meaning of the story? Sometimes we want to, you know, do certain things, but we forget, right? Don't trust your memory. Just remember one thing. If you want to really, you know, manage your time properly, is learn to write down the things that you intend to do. If you can just follow this one simple thing, make it a habit, and I can guarantee you, you increase your productivity by at least 20 to 30%. That is, every morning when you wake up, write down the things you want to do that day. I know you learned about this before. I know you tried this before. But you never follow. If you really want to be productive, you got to make it a habit every day. Every day, plan your day. Write down the things that you want to do that day. You just write it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do not know how many things you want to do a day. Maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe 20. Yeah. We want to do all the things we plan in the morning. But sometimes it's impossible. Okay? So you got to learn to give values to all the things. The most important thing you put A. Less important you put B. And then C. So every day you may have a few A, a few B, and a few C. Just remember this simple concept. Do the A first and challenge yourself. No matter how busy you are, you must finish the A, because the A is the most important things. Always do the A first. Like for example, today you may want to make 10 phone calls to 10 different persons. Same principle apply. Sometimes you are busy, you may not be able to phone all the 10 people. That's why you got to give values A, B, and C. So maybe you have 3 phone calls. It's so important. Do not postpone. Make that call today because it has got the highest value to you. So if you can cultivate this habit, every day you do the most important things, you make the most important phone calls. And that's where you have the productivity. You know the theory of 80-20, yeah? So you may do 80% of the work and achieve 20% results. A lot of activity. Because you have no planning, you do a lot of B and C. You never go to A. So you work 80%, achieve 20% of the result. But then if you are smart, every morning you do the planning, you give values to every item, and you concentrate on A first. So maybe you only accomplish 20% of all the work you want to do, but you achieve 80% of the result. So you want to work 80% and achieve 20% of the result, or you want to work 20% and achieve 80% of the result? Which one you want? Second one, isn't it? So if that's the case, then you must cultivate this habit. I tell you, you will thank me 5 years from today. No need to wait for 5 years. 2 years from today, you will thank me if you follow what I advise you today. Because if you do it, suddenly you have so much time. Look, I got so many businesses to look after. You only build business in Thailand, and I built my business in so many countries. I got so many people to look after, and I got so many trips a year. And I still got all the time in the world to enjoy my movie and my music, because I have this habit. Like for example, today, I wake up. The most important thing for today is to attend this meeting. So if I do nothing today, it's okay, I achieve 80% of the day already. So maybe tomorrow, you may have one very important phone call to make, and you put down A, and then you make that call, and you achieve 80%, because you know that phone call to you is so important. This is the second part I want to share with you, how you, to be productive is waste no time on phone. Many Amway leaders waste a lot of time on telephone. Many leaders love to talk over the phone. In the past, I thought ladies love, but in fact, a lot of men spend a lot of time talking, and the telephone become hotline. If your telephone is hotline, you better have 2 phones, 2 lines or 3 lines. But the point here is our time is so important. I don't care even you are doing the business full time. Time is money. Don't simply waste your time. I would rather want you to spend your time with your family than to waste your time, talking over the phone. Why don't you try to record down how many hours a day you spend on phone? Being Amway distributor, we spend a lot of our time on telephones. We call downline, we call prospects, we call our upline, complain our upline, our downline call us. So we spend a lot of our time on telephone. And that is the reason why I want you to learn how to be effective. First, set a time limit. Don't talk too long. Number 2, plan what you have to say before you speak. And third, ask yourself why you want to make this phone call. What is your objective? So if you know your objective, you know your intention, and you plan your phone call beforehand, I tell you that phone call can be very effective to you. And again, is this phone call belong to A, B, or C category? If it's C, you have one, inactive distributor, and you spend 2 hours talking to that inactive distributor, is a waste of your time. Yes, we want to motivate our inactive distributor. We want to try to make our inactive distributor to work again. That's why we're concerned about distributors. We want to build the friendship. We call our inactive distributors. But you should not spend all the time to talk to these people. So you got to learn how to draw your organization chart. Which of your downline is active, not active. And then you will know how to make use of your time properly. So the third thing is spend more time with your active distributors or newest distributor. So this is you are the leader, you are the direct distributor, and you may have down the line, you have so many distributors, alright? Work with someone who is the most active or the newest, the one that who just signed up today or yesterday. Because that new distributor, the upline may not know how to follow up, and if you can go down the line and work with this new distributor always excited and share your experience with the new distributor. You help the distributor to grow, and you help the old upline to grow. Okay. Remember, it is always easier to motivate new distributor than the old distributor, especially those who are negative. All right. So these are the few points that will help you to improve your what they call the productivity. There's one more point. Plan your schedule. Thailand is very big. Sometimes being a supplier, being a direct distributor, you have distributors scattered around the country. So how to take care of distributors that stay far away from you? Well, first thing, I will want you to try to concentrate and build your business where you are. If it's not necessary, don't try to travel. I got one distributor in Taiwan. She is what you call a housewife and very shy. Her name is Miss Song Fong Ing. Well, I mean, not so important about her name. She sponsor people only within 5 kilometers. Okay, all her front line and the leaders. So easy for her to follow up. Her productivity is very high. She spent, I think, about 4.5 years, and she became an executive diamond. And all the 9 legs are within the 5 kilometers. And yet many of you may have distributors spread throughout the country. Well, maybe, you know, some of your downline may travel and sponsor someone far away from you. Then you better learn how to work with people outstation. I will recommend you to send notes, letters, cards, you know, use phone call rather than you travel all the way. So if it's necessary, okay, remember, got to work both ways. If you really have to travel to another place, it got to be like that. Your downline who is far away from you at least must have the needs for you to go there. That means he actually call you up and say, hey, dear upline, I need your help. Can you please come over and help me? You know, request you to go there and help him or her. He will value your time and your visit. I waste a lot of my time during the early days. I live in Kuala Lumpur. I got a lot of distributors stay up country. I travel a lot, almost every week. But when I go to that distributor, his volume go up. When I come back home, his volume come down. So I do not know whether it's I want to build the business or he want the business. Think about that. It's you that want your downline to work or he himself want to work. And that make a world of difference. Okay? So you got to make sure that it's your downline. You can encourage him. You can try to what we call motivate him. You send notes, send cards, phone him, whatever you can to do to help him to really be excited, but not to travel all the way. It's very costly to travel. The reason why a lot of leaders wanted to travel is because the leaders has got no leaders to work with around his workplace or around his home. So in other words, if you want to improve your productivity, I want you to spend more time on prospecting. If right now you have 5 or 6 leaders that really want your time, call you every day, every night, upline, please help me, maybe you don't have to spend so much time prospecting. If every day instead of your downline call you, you call your downline. I got this meeting lah, I got that meeting lah, please come to this meeting lah, please come to that meeting lah. And you call and call, not too many of your downline come to your meeting because they are not so active. So in other words, you do not have too many active leaders that need your time. And you spend all the time with those inactive distributors, sleeping distributors. I tell you, instead of you motivate them, they demotivate you. That's why you do not have the productivity. So you analyze your own organization. How many active leaders do you have? If very few. How many phone calls that you receive from a downline a day? Doesn't mean that you don't have to call them or concern about them. Yes, I encourage you to continue to concern about them, continue to phone them and care for them.